Some of you are writing me letters. Rabbi, what do we do? I'm getting emails around the net from South Africa, from Europe. There's so many voices. There's so many websites. There's so many opinions. Well, remember, as Israel, there are always going to be many opinions. 2 Jews, 10 opinions. 2 Ephraimites, 1,000 opinions. Okay? So we're always going to have a multitude of counselors and a multitude of opinions. So today's message is going to be very, very weak. In the sense that it's going to be a review of past years. It's called Israel's Passover Gospel. Israel's Passover Besorah. But before we get into Israel's Passover Besorah, I want to try to give all of us some direction. Because there are things that I've been told are not kosher for Passover that there's not a Jew, Orthodox, Conservative, or Reformed that would consider it not kosher for Passover. Then there are other things that people make up. Well, they don't like this, it's not kosher for Passover. They don't like that, it's not kosher for Passover. So you have this guessing game, and you have all these voices, and you have to try to work through the voices of how we are to prepare for Pesach. Let me backtrack 10 steps. Will you allow me to backtrack 10 steps?
Sure, maybe 9.5.
9.5. 9.89 steps. Let's go with the assumption that whatever Yahuwah gave us was simple. Let us go also under the assumption that whatever we have made it to be is not what it was supposed to be. I cannot sit here and tell you that this one is wrong, this one is right. This one is wrong, this one is right. That's what the enemy wants. That's exactly what the enemy wants. This one is wrong, his list is right. His list is wrong. No. We've got to go back to the basics of Scripture. In the basics of Scripture, we can stay out of all lists. Your list, her list, his list, and their list. I don't care if you want to keep Pesach less strict, whatever that means, more strict, somewhat strict. That is not the purpose of Pesach. So that you can be more strict than somebody else. But those who are being strict are also probably and most likely being tricked. The stricter you are when it comes to Is Chametz, the more likelihood is the possibility of you being tricked while you're being strict. Because the Besorah is simple. He loves you, he died, he bled as your atonement, and after 3 days he rose again. It's a simple message. The Passover gospel has to be simple. To clean my house from chametz, leaven, has to be simple. If it's not simple, it's not of the Father. Because even a little child can understand it. Yahuwah said what? When your children come to you in that day, and they say to you, what is all this about you and your mama and your daddy going out of Mitzrayim? What did Yahuwah say to answer that child? Be quiet. This is what Yahuwah did for me when I left Mitzrayim. Your children will come to you. You keep the message simple. You don't tell them about how the pyramids were built. You don't tell them at what time we left Ramses and arrived in Sukkot. You don't tell them that the day starts at sunrise or sunset. You're talking about a 5-year-old child. You're talking about a 4-year-old child. You are to tell him the Hagid, the telling of the Exodus. This is what we were slaves. Avadim hayinu lefaro b'Mitzrayim, and Yahuwah took us out with a zroa netuyah and a chiyad chazakah, with a strong arm and an outstretched hand, an outstretched arm and a strong hand. Keep it simple. So the way that we are to prepare and do the B'dikat Chametz must be simple. Simple than the rabbis, más fácil de los rabinos, more simple than the Ephraimites, more simple than PDF files. I've looked at some of these PDF files, and I'm thinking about changing gods. I'm thinking about changing religion.
Well, just change the PDF.
Either that or delete the file. Well, that's what this message is all about. I'm trying to delete man's ways and to focus in on the simplicity of Scripture. Remember what Rav Shaul told the Kehillah in Galutia? Be not deceived. I'm worried that you're so easily removed from the simplicity of the Besorah. Beware as if like the serpent beguiled Chava, that you be not so easily removed from the simplicity.
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
Baruch Hashem,
Baruch Hashem.
Yahweh. So before we make our own list, of what is chametz, is it a product? Is it a process? Let us focus in on kal vachomer. What is the Hebraic principle of kal vachomer? Kal chomer. When there appear to be problems in Scripture, or when there appear to be different scriptures that seem to contradict each other, we have to resort to the solution. And what is the solution? Kal vachomer. Kal means the less important, and vachomer is what? The heavier, the more burdensome, the more important. So within the entire Passover gospel, and in our search for the Bedikat Chametz, the search for Chametz, we must get back to the kal, the easiness of the message and the search, and stay away from the what? The chomer. Are you with me? So we have to return to the kal and stay away from the chomer. Go with me, please, to Corinthians Aleph, chapter 5. How do I prepare my home? Rabbi, you're speaking very nice today. You're preaching well. Your voice projection is excellent. Your English is exquisite. But I want to know when I get home tonight and tomorrow and the next day, I want to know how to clean my house. Do I need to call a service? Do I need a maid? Do I need a French maid? Do I need a nice Jewish girl who knows what she's doing to clean my house? Hopefully she won't be cleaning my clock while she's cleaning the house. Corinthians Aleph 5:6. Your boasting, your understanding is not told. So that's the premise. Whatever we're doing about chametz is no different than the Corinthians. Our understanding is not good. We need to return to the kal and get away from the chomer. Do you not know that a little chametz, chametz being leaven, leavens the whole lump? Verse 7. Bedikat chametz. Verse 7. Bedikat chametz. Clean out the chametz, the leaven, that you may be a new lump. What? That the noodles may disappear. That the borscht may be thrown in the garbage. That the vinegar be given away. That the cucumbers be kadosh and bought from a Jewish butcher. Now look at verse 6. That you may be unchametzed. The purpose of Pesach is not about noodles and spaghetti and rice and whose list is correct and whose list is the most correct or the nearest to correct or the closest to correct to prepare your house for Pesach. It is you, Bubba, that are the problem. It is you. It is your heart. It is you that is the problem. You're the one that needs to get ready for Pesach.
Amen.